Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We are still here at this top secret location for a redesign of a vehicle that many of you are waiting for. It's this vehicle right here. This is it. This is your all-new 2024 GMC Acadia. This particular one is the Envision trim. But before we get into this mid-size 3-row crossover SUV, let's talk about what's going on here. GMC, General Motors Truck Company, they've been around for so long, and guess what? Being that go-to for people that wanted that premium level of trucks from General Motors. Now, of course, they still do trucks, and boy, oh boy, do they do the trucks very well, as we have featured here on Raiti's Rides. But it's not just about trucks. GMC has expanded their lineup to bring in crossover SUVs. And then on top of that, you have to remember, when it comes to electrification, all that GMC is doing with electric vehicles, from the Hummer EV truck, the Hummer EV SUV, and that upcoming Sierra EV, which is going to be exciting. But now it's all about the mid-size 3-row SUV segment. Such a segment in the auto industry that is really on fire when you look at the competition, and it seems to be changing almost by the week with what people are expecting when it comes to their purchase of a 3-row mid-size SUV. Now, with the Acadia, you have 3 different ways you could go, and I love the way that that whole process is so straightforward. We already brought you the AT4, all-new AT4, off-road capability. We also brought you that top luxury trim, the Denali. What I'm here to show you now is your gateway into the Acadia, which is the Elevation. But what I want to find out is, if you're looking for something that is new, not only new style, but also new technology, is this vehicle the way to go, especially Elevation trim, compared to the competition? Let's go ahead, let's dive into this 2024 Acadia Elevation and find out. Right off the bat, the dimensions. You're going to notice a bigger presence because guess what? The Acadia has grown in size, and that's a very good thing because mid-size SUVs, depending on which one you go with, can be very tight. So you're going to see a little bit extra length, a little bit extra width, and that will really tell the truth when we get to the interior. Now, at the front of the business, just like we showed you with the AT4 and the Denali, you're getting an all-new look on the Acadia. Love the way GMC is doing their signature, that C-shaped interlocking daytime running lamp and turn signal. Of course, you're going to get LED projector beam headlights. And I think what's great is that when you look at this compared to the sister vehicle, which would be the Chevrolet Traverse, a much different style, a much different look, especially with how they do lighting. Now, working your way down, you do get LED fog lamps down below, which is very important, especially when you're living out maybe in an area that's not very well lit. And a lot of brands are eliminating fog lights of all types. Now, as we come across that signature style grille, you got that GMC badge prominently displayed. Love that red finish, General Motors Truck Company. Forward-facing camera on the Elevation trim. Like I said, this is your entryway into the Acadia. Some nice aluminum style finish, some shiny chrome finish, and then down on the lower portion, same story. They bring the same cohesive materials and designs to the top part of the grille as they do to the lower portion. And the great news as well is that you do have active shutters to help increase that efficiency. So if you're looking for a mid-size SUV to be more efficient, this is going to have some of those details to help you get there. Now, as we rise up, you got that General Motors Truck Company bold style hood. Love the way they do that C-shape indentation in the center, and then the indentations on both sides really gives it some substance. And even with the way the hood is, the height of the hood, it makes it feel more mature in a very good way, more grown up of an Acadia compared to previous generations. Now, underneath the hood, you do have a 2.5 liter turbocharged inline-4 that produces 328 horsepower. And what's great about this setup is that it's about increasing efficiency. You're getting more horsepower, you're getting great amount of torque, but we're also trying to increase that efficiency. Now, as we come around the bend on the Elevation, grade, what style wheel do we have going on? You'll notice this bright metallic silver, and if you're saying, well, Joe, they had to probably put an 18-inch wheel or something. No, you're getting that 20-inch wheel. Love that metallic silver finish. Great design. It almost looks like a wheel that you would find on a higher trim, and I applaud GMC for putting such a nice style wheel. Now, if you're looking at what is the size of the tire, you're looking at 255 on the width, 55 series sidewall, and just a little bit of flat black around the fender openings. Each trim obviously will have different wheels and different appointments around it to make it be unique. But I think the thing to remember is that GMC is trying to make that entryway into the Acadia, make it feel really like it's got a lot of substance to it. And wait until we get to the interior. I think that's where you're gonna get blown away. Now, when we come down the side, you do have gloss black on the mirror caps, nice size LED turn signals built in. We have 360-degree cameras. And then one of the things that I like from the side of the Acadia is that they only bring the bright, shiny metalwork along the top, not around both the top and bottom. It makes it look not so heavy and just gives it a cleaner look all the way around. You're gonna have raised roof rails up top. Of course, you could get crossbars, put your kayak holder up there, your cargo basket, perfect for those family adventures. And hopefully that this vehicle will make it a little bit more comfortable for you and your family so you're not pulling out your hair. Working towards the rear, color match on the door handles. And then I think one of the other things that stands out to me is just the large greenhouse that you get with the side glass. It gives a lot of nice visual area to look out, but also let light inside so you don't feel like you're sitting in a cave. That rear quarter window, the way they flare out the trim and just bring it to a nice end there, shows the attention to detail. And then speaking of detail, it's the back where really they made some nice changes. You're gonna have a long roof spoiler with your third brake light, all blended in, super clean. And then just like up front, you have that prominent GMC badge, so much history, all within 3 letters. And then even the way that they shape the brake lights, full LED, that nice C shape to it. Coming down to a lower elevation, you'll notice, see what I did there, elevation? You'll see the name, gloss black, that elevation trim with the Acadia, and of course, all-wheel drive. And then on the bottom portion is where they nailed it. They hit the ball right out of the park. I love the quad tip exhaust, nice slash cut, staggered tips. That really gives it such a distinct look. And in a day and age where a lot of brands aren't showing that nice stainless steel look and just hiding everything, it's nice to see, very comforting. But while we go ahead, let's get inside and talk about the big changes to the Acadia. All right, guys, we're inside this 2024 redesigned GMC Acadia Elevation trim. I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm really liking this 3-row midsize SUV, and I've always been a GMC type of person. How much is it? No official pricing yet, but expect GMC to be very competitive, especially with what the competition is bringing. And then you also have to remember, we have, like I said, underneath that hood, that 2.5-liter turbocharged engine, 328 horsepower, made it to an 8-speed automatic. And we have, of course, all-wheel drive and a towing capacity of 5,000 pounds. But with that being said, let's see what this Elevation brings to the door panels. Love the clean style. You have that wonderful wood finish up top. Love the way it doesn't have any veneer or anything like that. A little bit of a silver aluminum trim. No gloss black, which is great, especially around the switchgear. So you don't have to worry about fingerprints all over the place. You got contrast stitching. And then that door pocket is large enough for a Detroit-style steak and cheese sandwich, no problem. And of course, a Pepsi to wash it down. You got the Bose sound system. And then going from the door panel to the dash, I like how they did this split level. Really gives it a unique look. Your contrast stitching, soft touch material, that wood style finish. And then you slide on in, and here's where I was telling you things are different. 15-inch portrait style infotainment system, much different than the Traverse. Obviously, you'll have all of your different apps that you're used to from General Motors. Working your way down, you have a real volume knob, which is nice. Dual climate control, heated seats, and everything. Toggle switches, And then of course you're gonna have wireless charging, USB-C, USB-A, 2 cup holders. Love the way, instead of just going flat black, look at the way they brought the trim in here, just like on the dash. Down below, you have a perfect area for a sack, a satchel. You could get either a 5-pound bag of Idaho potatoes or Washington Red Delicious apples, which I don't know why they call them Red Delicious, because every time I eat a Red Delicious, they're not very good. What is good though is the soft touch material on this center console armrest, the stitching. Open it up. Wow, you could easily put a Nerf football in here. That's how much room you have. And then of course the seats, the material, same story, the way they did the stitching. On the passenger side, you have full electric assist, which also means on the driver's side, I have full electric assist, that ginormous panoramic sunroof. But it's not just about being on that side. Why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this Acadia. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. Down below, you have that easily accessible seat controls, especially for that lower lumbar. I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm telling you, this is just the start. I'm going to show you the other 2 areas with the amount of space that we have, and that's with the panoramic sunroof. And I'm not even close near that headliner. Steering wheel, love the thickness. Of course, you could see how you have the availability for GM Super Cruise. I love the way they do the little grill shape on the horn button there with the GMC logo. Flat black on all the switchgear, heated steering wheel, paddles to go up and down that automatic transmission. And then of course we have the digital display, which is all new, and we'll be able to show you all of the intricate details, not only with the infotainment system and the digital gauge cluster on that first drive, but why don't we go ahead, let's get into the mid-row and the third row and see how much room there is in this Acadia. All right, guys, mid-row time in this mid-size 3-row SUV. And like I said, it's not just about the changes that they made up front, but also changes that they made for the rear seat passengers, mid-row and third row. A lot more space. You look at the seats, you have those captain's chairs with the fold-down armrests. On the backs of the seats, you easily have enough room in here for a couple Annie Ann's pretzels. Love the way they did that nice leather style material. You got a little bit of a command center, 2 cup holders, AC controls, 3 stages of heated seats, 2 USB-Cs. You got your home power source and a place for 4 Twinkies down below. And then when it comes to this mid-row, what's great is that the seats actually slide, and they slide quite a bit. Plus, they recline, which is wonderful as well. Now, we've already shown you getting in the third row, and maybe I'll just do it. Maybe I'll surprise Lori and we'll surprise everybody. It's so easy to move that mid-row out of the way. And then here I am sitting back here, nice and comfy. You can see where my knees are, not as high as before, which is great. And then you'll also notice that once again, not even close to the headliner, and you have your rear AC vents back here. But why don't we go ahead, let's get into the last part, cargo area, and wrap this one up. All right, guys, last piece to this Acadia puzzle. Hit the button, you have nice electric assist on the elevation trim, and you're gonna notice that you're gonna be greeted to a wider space than in the previous Acadia. Now, the good news is they give you a lot of room with the third row up. The better news is to put the third row down, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. You have 60-40 split seats, and you're just gonna pull and just drop down those seats. Totally flat. Of course, the mid row will fold down to maximize your space. And I don't know if Lori could show you, but there are USB-Cs for that third row passenger, so you don't have to feel like a peasant sitting in the third row of this Acadia. But it's great to be here to show you this first look of the elevation trim. Remember, like I said, this is the entryway into the Acadia family. I can't wait to take you for a first drive and show you all the new tech, the safety features, and how it drives. But like we started with this video, we talked about other GMC vehicles, and I have something really special here. This is a special Omega edition of the Hummer EV SUV. Also will be available for the Hummer EV truck, and this is where really GMC has flexed their muscle when it comes to electrification. So we did this drive about a year ago with the Hummer EV SUV, and what they decided to do was bring out a special edition. So this Omega edition is featured in Neptune Blue. It's actually a flat metallic paint on this thing. Absolutely stunning, just like the planet Neptune, if you remember your planets in the solar system. But I think when it looks at the future towards what GMC is bringing, definitely they hit the nail on the head, not only with this Hummer EV SUV, but also, like I said, with the truck, and then with the rest of their lineup, going from their small size SUVs up to the mighty Yukon. But definitely want to thank the whole GMC team for having us out. Let me know down in that comment section what you think about the new Acadia, especially the Elevation. And if you haven't seen the other two reviews of the AT4 and the Denali, you want to see how those are different from what you're getting with this particular trim. But let me know down in the comments how you feel about it. They definitely want to know what you're thinking. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Of course, we need to thank Lori Raiti, working harder than ever. She's been up since 3:30 in the morning, and we just flew in here, and we're about to fly out. So thank you, Lori, for your dedication. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.